Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking something absolutely huge. We are talking about a tectonic shift in how enterprise systems are actually designed, built, and bought. Basically, we're watching the death of a legacy software model, and right before our eyes, a completely new framework is rising up for the age of agentic AI. If you build, buy, or even just manage enterprise software, you're going to want to stick around because this is literally going to change how you think about system architecture from the ground up. So let's kick things off with the hard truth that the tech industry is kind of quietly waking up to. SaaS, software as a service, is just the wrong architecture for agentic AI. I mean, think about it. For the last 20 years, the SaaS distribution model has been the undisputed heavyweight champ of B2B software, right? But right now, today, at the absolute highest levels of the enterprise, that whole model is actively breaking down. And we're going to explore exactly why that's happening. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the agentic AI shift, then move into execution abstraction, break down the trust proxy theory, map out the three-layer architecture, and finally, look at selling guaranteed outcomes. All right, let's dive into section 1, the agentic AI shift, and what it means to move beyond pure software. To really wrap your head around this shift, you have to look at the sharp contrast between the old world and the new one. In the SaaS world, you're basically selling a tool. The client still has to supply all the human labor to, actually swing the hammer. But agentic AI, it's not a tool. It is the labor. You absolutely cannot just sell a subscription to a probabilistic, hallucination-prone AI, point it at a client's fragile decade-old database, and just pray they manage the fallout. The integration is way too messy, and honestly, the cognitive burden on the client is just way too high. And the data backs this up in a massive way. According to KPMG, a staggering 91% of companies now say managed services are highly integrated into their digital transformation strategies. Over 9 out of 10. Enterprises have recognized the fundamental architectural mismatch of pure SaaS, and so they're turning to managed services to deploy AI safely. Moving right along to section 2, execution abstraction, or how we are completely delegating outcomes. To really grasp the sheer magnitude of this delegation, we need to quickly look at the history of enterprise tech. It's like a giant puzzle. In the 2000s, we abstracted infrastructure, right? Moving from physical server rooms to AWS and the cloud. In the 2010s, we abstracted software, moving from clunky CD-ROMs to smooth SaaS platforms. Now, heading into 2026, we are living through the third great abstraction, abstracting execution entirely. Enterprises don't want to manage an AI's context window. Instead of buying software to help their employees do accounting, they just want a service that hands them the completed accounting. Period. But crucially, we need to clarify something. This is definitely not your grandfather's outsourcing. 82% of executives now view modern managed services as entirely distinct from traditional outsourcing models. We aren't talking about offshore labor arbitrage anymore. This is a highly sophisticated blend of agentic AI, deep process mining to pinpoint bottlenecks, and advanced workflow automation. Okay, section 3. This is a big one. The trust proxy theory, also known as the liability sink. Now, you might be wondering, if you're a massive enterprise, why not just build these AI systems internally? Well, picture this. If an AI hallucinates while processing a $10 million compliance report, who gets fired? The IT team? The LLM provider? No way. This risk is exactly why enterprises desperately need a liability sink, or what we call a trust proxy. When an enterprise inserts a managed service provider between their proprietary data and the raw AI, that's deliberate system design. That provider acts as a governance wrapper. They monitor the agent, they catch the weird edge cases, and most importantly, they absorb the liability. The enterprise isn't actually buying the AI. They're buying the service level agreement, the SLA, that the AI makes possible. I absolutely love this mandate from an IDC analysis in the KPMG report. Buyers are operating on a mandate of trust but clarify. Think about that. They absolutely crave the speed and the raw power of AI, but they are demanding explicit toolchain governance, strict data sharing boundaries, and rigorous human-in-the-loop security controls before they deploy anything. So, the modern managed service provider is acting as this absolutely critical bridge. They stand right in the gap between massive AI ambition and strict enterprise security. They allow these giant companies to innovate boldly, and they can only do that because the provider is the one absorbing the risk, handling the messy governance, and keeping all the models auditable and fully compliant. Let's move into section 4, the three-layer architecture. This is the modern blueprint. If you're a founder or a system architect building B2B tools today, you absolutely have to design for the reality of the messy environment you're walking into. Because guess what? 54% of enterprise workflows still rely on rigid, legacy, on-premise ERPs and functional platforms. It's heavily firewalled, it's fragmented, and it's complicated. So, to actually succeed here, your modern AI managed service has to rely on a three-layer architecture. Think of layer one as the system of record, those messy enterprise ERPs we just talked about. Layer two is your cognitive engine. This is the tech stack you bring to the table, using process mining to map out undocumented workflows and agentic AI to automate them. But layer three is the magic. This is the subject matter expert wrapper. It's the human layer that monitors those agents and steps in to handle the edge cases that the AI will inevitably fail at. And let me be super clear about this. If you only build layer two, you're just a vulnerable SaaS tool. But if you build all three layers, you become an irreplaceable operational partner. Finally, Section 5, selling guaranteed outcomes, which is truly the future of B2B. So, what are enterprise buyers actually putting their budgets toward today? Well, looking at the next 3 years, the top expected value areas are AI management, applications management, and cybersecurity. In fact, a jaw-dropping 98% of organizations cite AI implementation as a critical priority. It's a really delicate dance, honestly. The business side is pushing the gas pedal to the floor for AI speed, while the cybersecurity side is pumping the brakes to ensure it all happens securely. And when we look at the actual goals driving this massive adoption, cost savings and efficiency are still leading the pack at 34%. I mean, that's forever going to be the primary trigger for CFOs, right? But transformational goals are catching up incredibly fast. Speed to market and accelerated innovation sit at a combined 50%. Interestingly enough, addressing scarce talent is down at 14%, which kind of suggests that some buyers still severely underestimate the specialized expertise required to actually run AI reliably in production. And that brings us to a really crucial realization. AI absolutely does not remove the need for smart human talent. In fact, it raises the bar. As automation eats up all the repetitive manual work, the real value concentrates in higher order skills. You still desperately need domain experts to redesign flawed processes. You need engineers to keep the AI secure. And you need specialized governance practitioners to guarantee that final SLA. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Look at your own strategy. Are you building B2B tools, or are you building outcome engines? SaaS is a delivery mechanism for tools, but managed services are a delivery mechanism for outcomes. As AI agents increasingly replace human execution, the companies that win won't just sell access to an agent. No way. They are going to wrap that agent in rigorous governance, integrate it deeply into legacy systems, and sell the guaranteed outcome. So stop building SaaS tools. Start building outcome engines. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep building the future.